Hello teachers, my name is Anna Yang and I am so excited to be able to bring to you guys a new partnership with Summer Hour Middle School's lead ESOL teacher, Leah Bedford. We're going to be doing bite-size PDs for you guys to help you and to help you support your English learners in the classroom. Our first episode today is going to be focused on getting to know who your English learners are. Now, you guys are probably like, okay, I just need to know what to do with them. Well, here's the reality. You can't know what to do with them unless you know who they are. And the thing is who they are is very complex and very dynamic. And so we need to take some time to really get to know who our kids are. And one of those pieces that we have to know about is their linguistic background, their linguistic abilities. And if you look here, this document, this image here is our GCPS ESOL instructional framework, and it looks like a building because you know how buildings are, the foundation can make or break the whole entire structure. So we really have to make sure that we know who these kids are. That's the foundation before we can start trying to do all these QPTS strategies that are really amazing and that do rock for all of our native English speaking learners. We got to know who our English learners are. We got to know where they are linguistically, where they are culturally, what they bring to the classroom, even educationally. We got to know all these things. But for today's sake, for time's sake, we're going to focus on just language. And here is how you're going to find out who your English learners are, and then that way we can start diving into them linguistically. So how do you know who they are? Well, at this point, hopefully, Leah's already given you guys an opportunity to figure out who your kids are. Like you've been able to find out either through Synergy or through the portal who your kids are. But if you haven't, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take some time to figure out who those kids are. So how do you find that out? Well, first of all, you are going to make your way to the portal, and then you're going to click on Data and Reporting, and then you're going to click on Class instead of Student. So that way it'll take you to this page, which is a snapshot of all your classes. Once you get to this page, you will see right here in the middle of all of that information up at the top, a list of programs. And if you look under the EL section, you will be able to find out how many English learners you have in particular. Now, you're not going to be able to know exactly who those kids are just by clicking on this button. It's not a button anyway, it's not a hyperlink. You actually have to click on your classes themselves, and then that way you can see who those kids are. Once you click on each individual class, it will then take you to a page where you can see just your English learners filtered out, and you will then be able to find out who those English learners are. Now, here's the trick about the ELs through the portal though. ELs under the portal are not aggregated or disaggregated by monitored or direct serve. They're all just aggregated together, okay? So what's the difference between monitored and direct serve? Well, a monitored kid is a kid who has reached access testing threshold to where we consider them fluent English proficient, and so they are exited from the program. And that's if they score a 5.0 or above, or if they've been reclassified between a 4.4 and a 4.9. A direct serve kid is a kid who scored less than a 5.0, or they were probably a kid who still is between a 4.4 and a 4.9. And so if they weren't reclassified, then they could be one of those kids as well. So how do you know if your kid's direct served or monitored? Well, what you actually have to do is you have to actually hover your mouse over the EL button down there at the bottom of their page under where all their programs are listed. And hover your mouse over. And if you hover your mouse over them, you'll see some information pop up. This kid over here on the left is a second-year monitor student. They exited May 22nd, 2019. This kid over here on the right is actually an English learner. So this kid over here is a direct served kid. All right, so once you figure that out, that's then going to help you to figure out what your access scores, what your students' access scores are, so that you can start tailoring your instruction around these scores. And so this document here gives you an idea of what your kids can do at each of those different proficiency levels, okay? So I'm not going to dive into that too much because I have like a minute left. What I am going to do now is take you to the portal and show you exactly what I was talking about. Click on Data and Reporting. We're going to click on My Students. And I'm going to choose one of your teachers and one of your kids so that way you can take a look at what that student's proficiency looks like. So I'm just going to pick your school, go Summer Hour. So again, my access looks totally different from yours. We're going to click on Ms. Dyer, and then we're going to click on a class. She has 22 ELs. And then after we click on that class, we are now going to pick a student. And then this is going to help us to figure out if this student is direct served or if this student is monitored. And how we're going to do that is we're going to hover our mouse right over. This kid is a direct served student. And that, my friends, is how we know who your ELs are. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.